Okay, there, that looks pretty good. So this is what I'm making. A little zippered makeup bag with a flat bottom so it can stand up. So I made this one for me. I'm going to make one for my sister now. I might be running back and forth a bit. My daughter's just having her lunch, so. Okay. So materials you need a canvas or something heavier. I'm going to use just cotton for my lining, just a solid color. And I also have some interfacing. This is the Craft Fuse interfacing. It is a little stiff. You can for sure get away with something thinner. This is pretty thick, but this is just what I have on hand, so I'm gonna go with that. Then you also need a zipper, a polyester zipper. Just make sure that it's as long or longer than the width you need for your bag. And then scissors, thread, sewing machine. I guess you could always hand sew this if you wanted to. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is take my canvas material. And I'll start at the bottom here, I think. The thing is, I didn't really write down what my measurements were last time, so we'll just wing it. Well, I guess I can go by my zipper. I can't go longer than that. Okay, and give ourselves, I guess, half an inch, quarter of an inch seam allowance. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go 8 inches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go 8 inches wide by, you know what? Let's just make it square. Let's go 8 by 8. So you need 2 pieces of your outside fabric. This is going to be the canvas or the heavier stuff. Okay, we don't need that anymore. And then we need our lining. Let's turn our iron on here so we can just flatten that. Ouch, okay. Just fold her over so we can cut 2 out at once. And we're done with that stuff. Okay, so we've got our 2 pieces of canvas or heavier material, and we've got our 2 identical pieces of our cotton lining. You can use whatever you want for the lining, whatever you have on hand. And then I'm also going to take my craft fuse and cut the same for this. One and two. Okay. Okay, so we've got all our material here and our interfacing. I'm just going to give this cotton a quick iron here. Ironing is just so satisfying. Okay. So we have our 2 pieces of canvas, 2 pieces of interfacing, and 2 pieces of cotton. I'm going to lay them right on top of each other, as even as I can get them, because we're now going to create our space for that bottom of the bag, so it stands up by itself. Doesn't have to be perfect, but that is my motto. Okay, so I'm just gonna take an inch by an inch square out of the bottom of the bag. So just be mindful of your outside pieces. This is the way that the bag is going to be when it's finished. So if you like your pattern a certain way, like this one goes kind of left to right, and I want it to match on either side. So now I'm just going to take my rotary cutter and cut out an inch square on the bottom of both of the sides here. I never get it cut right in the middle. That's good enough. Okay, now I'm going to take my other side and cut my inch square from the bottom. As good as you can get it there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take my interfacing and iron it onto my lining, so onto my cotton. This one's a little hard to tell. You just have to use the shiny side. So I'm going to lay it down on top and take it up to my iron. Make sure she's pretty stuck on. Looks good to me. And pull my next piece. just grab the top again here. Sometimes it takes a little bit to stick down. Awesome. Okay, so I have my interfacing fused on to my cotton. Okay, so now I'm going to take my first piece of outside fabric and my zipper. Oh, okay. Just going to go check on my daughter before I start that. Okay, this is kind of the tricky part. So this is when we're going to pin our zipper. So you want to make sure that the pull of your zipper is off the fabric. Just makes it easier. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the right side of the zipper, which is the side with the pull, and pin it to the right side of your fabric. And just go really slow and make sure that it's lined up with the top of that fabric right across as you go. Sorry, I just had to look it up. I always forget which side to pin on the line. All right. So you want to take your right side and pin it to the wrong side. So I've already pinned my right side of my zipper to the right side of my outside fabric. And I'm taking my lining piece and putting it interfacing side up. And again, lining it up with that top piece. You'll just have to move the pins a little bit so you don't pin on top of your last pin there. This part's a little tricky. And when you're doing this too, you want to make sure that it's lined up all the way down and your little notches are lined up as well. If you just put in the extra time to make sure that it's all lined up, it's gonna save you a lot of headaches at the end. Okay, now I have that all pinned. I'm gonna take it over to the machine and sew the very top here using a zipper foot. You can get away with a regular foot probably, but it's much easier with the zipper foot. Turning a bit. There. Okay. What you can do if your foot gets caught on the zipper pull too, you can just start a little ways down and then you can turn it around and sew back the other way. I find that works pretty good. And just pull out your pins as you go. It stays pretty steady because your interfacing's on there. Just check both sides to make sure you caught the material. And then I'm just going to, like I said, just flip it around and sew back the other way to get as close to that foot, the zipper pull as possible. Just get that thread out of the way. Okay. And I'm just going to take my scissors and trim the threads. I mean, you don't have to be super neat at this point because this is what's going to go on the inside. I'm not a horribly neat sewer. If anything pokes out at the end, I just go back over and redo it again. Okay, so when we open her up, our canvas piece, we should see the right side of our zipper here. Here's the zipper pull. And our lining piece is here on the inside. Okay, so we're going to keep that part flipped over. We're going to pull out our wrong piece of our zipper again to do the other side. I'm just going to fold this back as best as I can. And then I'm going to take my other piece of canvas and remember, do right side okay. So I'm going to go wrong side of zipper to right side of material. So this is wrong side of zipper to right side of material. Let me just double check. True. Oh. All right. So I flip my piece. I want to go right side of fabric to right side of my zipper again, making sure that that's lined up as you go. Does anybody else just ever really second guess themselves when they're doing stuff like this? I've done this so many times. I've taken the time to pin it and sew it, and then it's the wrong way when I go to flip it over. Let's just double check, shall we? All right, yeah. That looks right. And now I'm taking my then I want to go this way. Again, I'm just going with it, not second guessing myself. And pin along the top with my inner facing lining piece facing up. And let's just go ahead and go for it. All right, try my threads again. And the moment of truth. Is it right? Oh, thank God. It's right. Okay, so this is the right side of our zipper here with the zipper pull. We've got our outside pieces here facing the right way. And then we've got our lining pieces facing the inside of the bag. Sweet. Okay. Now what we're going to do is get rid of our lint. We're going to unzipper the zipper a little bit. And we're going to fold it backwards onto itself. Actually, you know what? Let's iron the outside pieces so they lay flat first. That'll give us a better idea of where we're sewing. Spin you here. Cool. Sure. Okay. I'm going to put my right side of the zipper straight up, pull my lining pieces out, and then I'm going to pull the canvas out and press it down flat. Don't use a metal zipper for this one because you're ironing so close to it. A polyester zipper is probably the best thing to use. And I'm just pulling it as I go and pressing down firmly. So see how it's laying down much better than the other side. Now I'm just going to turn around, do the same thing on the other side. Pull. Push with my fingers. And start at the bottom. And head on up. And push. Once I've got them both down, I can go this way and go over them both at the same time. Perfect. How do I do this? Point you back over here. Yeah. I apologize about the camera. I've never done this before. There. Okay. I'm going to grab my pins again. Undo my zipper a bit. I'm going to open it up this way. And I want to be pinning it down with the zipper as my center point. So if you start at the top, you can kind of lay your zipper teeth over each other so they're on top of each other. And that'll give you the most even fold there. So I'm just going to pin right next to the zipper. And it's even helpful to throw a pin on the actual zipper so it stays snug like that. I'm just going to pin a couple. Like I said, this interfacing piece doesn't slide very much because it is uber thick. probably doesn't need this many, but I'm just going to do it just to be sure. Now, have this as close as you can to the piece underneath, because when you sew and the bottom piece is moved, especially around these notches, if the bottom piece is moved back, you might miss the bottom fabric and it won't stay together. So I did my did my zipper here at the top. I'm gonna pull my pins to this way and do the same at the bottom. Oh, my notches are really off on that one. Crap. Okay, well. You just adapt, you know? Well, I do anyways. Some people probably don't, but I don't mind. All right, so once you've got this all pinned here, you're going to start at the bottom of the lining piece, because that's where you're going to notice the seam the least, because when you turn it inside out, you have to go and hand stitch it. So if it's in the bottom of the bag, it'll be the least noticeable, or even on the side here. Maybe I'll do on the side. No, I'll do it on the bottom. I'll do it on the bottom. Okay, so you're going to sew around everything, but you're not going to sew the notches yet. I'll show you what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And just be really careful around the corners here. All gummed up. Oh, there we go. Remember to take your pins out, and when you go over the zipper, just be careful. So you can just go ahead and sew right through those little notches. And I'll show you what we have to do next. So I'm just sewing down the straight lines at the bottom and at the sides. over my zipper with no trouble. Now this interfacing is super thick, but it's really good about not gumming up your machine at all. Okay, I've sewed all the way around. I'm going to cut my threads. Now canvas has a tendency to fray, especially around the sides. Just leave it. Pull off the pieces that are bothering you, but it's going to be on the inside anyways. You just kind of have to get to that point for it to be contained. Okay, now you can go around if you used a larger seam allowance and trim off the corners or the sides. Mine looks pretty good. I'm just going to leave it. So now when it comes to these bottom pieces with our notches, what we're going to do is take it with our fingers. Oh my gosh. Okay. Take it with our fingers and line up the seam like this and just sew a straight line from here to here on all four corners. Oh, come on. There we go. It's a little harder with the interfacing side, but you just got to be firm with it. Once you got it pulled out, it pretty much stays where it's supposed to be anyways. All right, that's done. I'm going to cut those threads as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. And now what I'm going to do is take this open piece that we had left and turn the whole bag inside out. I just like to use, you can buy a special tool for this, but I like to use just a crochet hook to push out the corners. So I find if you just start at the very end, and then if you sewed it well, you should be able to ream it a little bit. Just be careful at like where you stopped. It's always a good idea to back stitch a little bit so those sides are extra strong. Okay, so we've got it turned inside out. Now what we're gonna do is just get our basic shape and poke out our corners. This is when you can look. See here, I didn't get close enough. So I'll have to go back and fix that afterwards. But here's a good one if you can see. That's the lining there. And I'm going to work up to the top. Push out my corners on my outside pieces. Hopefully I caught them up here, because that's the most important part. Yep, that one looks good. All right, that one looks good as well. Perfect. Okay. Now what you're going to do is push your lining into the... Oh, okay, yeah. Forgot. We have to close up the lining. You can either hand stitch this, or you can just use a brown thread or your lining color thread and just go back over it. So I'm just going to fold it like that. I'm going to use brown thread just to sew here. It's at the bottom of the bag. It won't really be seen, but it's nice to have it looking neat. Anyways. Okay, trim my threads off on that. And I'm just going to push, make sure all the threads are out of your way, and I'm just going to push in the lining. Just go down your seams with your fingers and get it the general shape, and then you can go back in with your tool and just poke out the corners so they poke right into that canvas. Alrighty. Poke out your bottom. So we've got a nice flat base here. Sweet. And then you're also just going to use your turning tool to just poke out in here where your zipper comes up, just to get those nice crisp corners. Poke it up, poke it up. All right. And you're going to close your zipper. And there we go. You've got a nice big canvas bag with a lining and a zipper that you can use for makeup, masks. You can throw diapers in here, baby stuff. Yeah, so, and if you're selling them, you can add a tag to this side here too. That's pretty easy. I'll do another video on doing that. But this one's just for my sister, so there it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed following along with me. If you like this and like the live stream, let me know and I'll do it again. It's the first one I've done. So yeah, if you want to subscribe to me, that would be great. I put out new videos every Friday at noon, and I kind of like doing this live stream, so I might do it again. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.